How's it going, guys? We are back. Another win. I gotta say, it's been going well nowadays. It's been going a lot better than at the beginning of this month. That's for sure. And yeah, I mean, listen, before this day, we had a pretty big losing streak, and as you can see, like it had not been going very well. Price action was not great. But that's no excuse for it, of course. Just I had to learn really that I cannot trade every single day, right? I have to wait. And yeah, waiting has given me wins so far, right? I don't want to jinx anything, so knock on wood, of course. Um, but right now it's going well. Hopefully it's gonna keep going this way. Hopefully you guys are doing well as well. I'm gonna try to post a short. Oh my God, that's pretty painful. Oh, that's pretty painful. But I'll explain a little bit about why after. Um, it's probably self-explanatory by looking at it, but anyway, we'll just go off and we'll start with our price action today. Pretty similar from yesterday's price action. Um, yeah, we don't have like any huge jaws of liquidity to aim for on either yes and Nasdaq, so I'm looking for these little jaws of liquidity over here. They're not little, of course, they're high time frame jaws of liquidity, but they're not like this or that, you know. So that's what we're going for nowadays, and yeah. So we'll start off by I'll start off by saying that today I thought there was a lot of chances that I was not gonna trade today because Nasdaq was looking a little weird, and I'll explain. I'll just go and explain. So, yes, you know, showing signs of being bearish because before 9:30 we tap into this 4-hour gap. It's the second gap, so there's one over here, and then there was over there. So, like it's not clear that we're gonna react off of it and come down after. But that's pretty much what I'm waiting for. And if we're not gonna react off of it, then I'm gonna aim for this draw liquidity, and maybe this one on Nasdaq. It's a bit further, but yeah. So if you look at Nasdaq though, it's not the same, right? It looks a bit iffier. So we're gonna go on the hourly. It looks more like a ranging Nasdaq, right? It doesn't look as good as ES, and ES doesn't even look that good. Like it does. It looks a bit like it doesn't know what it's doing either. So yeah, yes, this price action is looking a little bit decent because the candles look good, but if you're looking at overall, you know, we're not going really everywhere, anywhere. So I'm looking at Nasdaq as well, and Nasdaq is just less pretty. So overall, I'm already a bit skeptical on trading today, right? If we're going to 15, you know, okay, we're following some thing, and then we come back down, and you know, it's not as clear. So we have to go even lower. And now it looks to make a little bit more. I don't know if I can speak today. It looks like a bit more. It looks like it's a bit better. Without that hard, Jesus. Why? Because, well, let's just point out now at 9:30 right over here. Before 9:30, we have this little wick into this 5-minute gap on ES, and at that point, I'm like, okay, we have a reason to, like, to start at least to look for if we're gonna respect it or not, you know. Nasdaq though, I don't think we have the same kind of movement. From 9:30 at least. So, well, we have the same movement, but not into anything really. We have this little wick up into pretty much nothing, and yeah. So I said a lot of nothing really because market's giving me a lot of nothing. So I'm gonna wait until market gives me something. And what I mean by that is Sometimes when before 9:30 we have a good price action, we have a lead towards somewhere, a clear draw liquidity, I mean, and maybe a gap that we're gonna look for either a respect or a disrespect, depending on what our bias is. Then I can maybe aim for the nearest draw liquidity right off the bat from 9:32 to 9:35, 9:36, early on into the market open. Here from what I'm trying to explain, which is probably so unclear to you guys, there's not much. And that's pretty much all you need to know. There's not much for me. So I'm going to wait until they give me something. So that means I'm going to have to avoid taking a trade towards the nearest draw liquidity, right? Because to me, market being so unclear, I'm going to have to make it do something. I'm going to have to wait until it does something, right? So we start off 9:30 and, it decided to come down and take this first draw liquidity, right? Which is a pretty clear draw liquidity. It's a first low, and then we have a few more over here. So I'm right off the bat, I'm thinking market's not giving me much. I'm gonna wait until a trend forms, and then I'm gonna see if I could get opportunities from there. It could have been the other way around. It could have been market decides to come up, maybe take out this draw liquidity, and if we have a little reaction, maybe a little, I'm gonna draw for it, we come up, maybe a little reaction over here, and if we show good signs of coming back up, I'm gonna take a trade around here, aiming for these draws of liquidity over here. Right? Does that make sense? How do I delete all this? All right, well, now I deleted the whole thing, so how can I? Oh. All right, how do I take off these arrows? All right, give me a minute, guys. Okay, so I had to take them off one at a time. So now instead we had this little move down instead of a little move up on both indexes, which is a good sign. Both indexes are going to the same place. Where are we? We are here. Yeah, so market eventually, after a little while of a bit of rubbish, we come down and take out this draw liquidity. Now I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna see if it's an actual trend towards somewhere, like these good draws of liquidity down here that I pointed out before, or we're gonna react right off the bat and maybe go higher, aim for other stuff. My preference was what happened. Basically, we had a little reaction, went back up into a 5-minute, and then continued a nice little trend down, right? Why was that my preference? Because of like some of the things I said at the beginning. ES looks a bit better, respecting the 4-hour gap. It just looks like it makes more sense, and I want opportunities to trade, right? So a draw liquidity to the upside seemed a bit far-fetched compared to these ones down lower. So once we take out this draw liquidity, we come up into this 5-minute gap, and what's important with 5-minute gaps is the fact that it's a 5-minute gap. It's not a 1-minute gap, so it's gonna take some time, and people need to wait. You need to wait when it's a 5-minute gap. And yeah, another thing though that I want to point out about the fact that it's a 5-minute gap. This movement down, although we're on the 1-minute right now, is more of a 5-minute kind of move down, if that makes sense, right? So once we take out this draw liquidity, we form this 5-minute gap over here, okay? And now I'm looking at, okay, if this was to be a trend, right, a bearish trend towards all these draws of liquidity down here, the movement would be long enough for it to require a 5-minute gap and not a 1-minute gap, if that makes sense. So I'm waiting for not a 1-minute, I'm waiting for a 5-minute gap. And that's important because, I guess it comes with market experience, but I'm trying my best to explain here. If we were to take a short, that would mean we're looking for a trend to follow, right? And that would only be possible or not possible, it's always possible that we react off this 1 minute gap over here and we come all the way down into these jaws of liquidity. But what is more plausible is that we come up, fill a 5 minute gap to fill in the liquidity that we need to complete this movement all the way down, because this is a fair amount of points down. We're going to need more than a 1 minute retrace. Think of it as like a recharge, more gas to put into the tank for market to come down and fill. A 1 minute gap, would that be enough? In my mind, I'm going to need more for a safer trade, for confirmation that we're going to follow trend. Just overall, it's better for me. So I waited for the 5 minute to be filled and not the 1 minute, right? So that's what I had to say about that. Once we are in a 5 minute, it's going to take a while because it is a 5 minute. So I waited a few candles to be bearish, and then eventually I entered, and we took out the first TP over here. Actually, I think I took first TP over here because I'm a bit of a C. But then we went and took out this one. And after I saw all of this, I took even more out. So it's basically 2 contracts that I took out. And then I moved my stop loss to break even. And then I moved my stop loss lower around here. And I got stopped out. And almost immediately after, well, I got off my setup. So I saw it at the beginning of this video, that we had completely filled. We went all the way to my TP. Which is really unfortunate. But it's alright. We still made our money today. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, so if there's something we could take from my trade is, keep your theory in mind. So does this make sense, this little move up? Yeah, we're coming back up, retracing a little bit more, recharging a little bit more, and then coming back down fully. And I even marked down this rectangle over here because I knew market could come up and fill before coming down and fully taking my TP out. I just got impatient after all these candles, moved my stop loss over here, and got stopped out. But it's alright. We made a decent amount of money, and things have been going well lately. Theory and mind has been okay. I could be a lot better psychology wise though. So what's going on here? Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. Hopefully it makes sense. It's a bit of a longer video, or maybe it's if I cut all the parts where I'm trying to explain what I'm trying to say. It's gonna be a normal video, but hopefully you guys learned a little bit of something today. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time I have a trade.